Today is June 11. On the 11th of June 1509, Henry VIII of England marries his first wife. He would go on to marry another 5 for a total of 6 wives. Who was Henry VIII's first wife? Use the link below to submit your answer and win an amazing prize. Welcome to a new episode of Smarter by the Second. And this week I am once again joined by Wessel. Welcome, Wessel.
Thank you.
So last week you were participating as the first contestant ever in our new category, Recent History.
Yeah.
So how do you like it so far?
Yeah, it went quite well, right? So
Yes.
I like the questions. I know the answers, so then I like the questions.
You're very biased in that way.
Yeah.
So now in this next round you go out immediately, then the category sucks.
Yes, then it's stupid and we should never do it again.
Well, that's just what I was about to say, because you were doing very well, even, scoring a bit over 100 seconds left and starting with 6 lifelines. So if you now have some good rounds here, then you might go all the way to the final rounds.
Yeah, let's see.
All right, then we'll see how this next round goes. Round number 5. In 2024, Mark Rutte left Dutch politics to become a leader in international politics, namely becoming NATO's Secretary General. Among his tasks is keeping these heads facing the same way. In this round, 9 prime ministers of European countries who did not leave their country behind. You will get a picture of them, and I will give a short description. And you have to tell me from which country they are. And the options are Portugal, Spain, the Netherlands, United Kingdom, Italy, Sweden, Finland, Denmark, and Belgium. Last week we finished with around about the European Union. So are you also familiar with the leaders of these European states? Because that round went very well.
Yeah, I would like to say yes. I think I know some of them, at least, but I don't know. Was it 7 I have to get right? It's quite a lot.
Now we are up to 7, yes.
Yeah.
But you have your 6 lifelines.
We have the lifelines, so let's do this.
All right. Best of luck. First one. Prime Minister since 2nd July 2020.
Netherlands.
Prime Minister since 20 June 2023. Leader of the National Coalition Party.
Denmark.
Since 18 October 2022. Leader of the Moderate Party.
Portugal.
Since 2nd of June 2018. Secretary General of the Socialist Workers' Party.
Spain.
Since the 3rd of February 2025, leader of the New Flemish Alliance.
Belgium.
Since 5th of July
United Kingdom.
Since the 22nd October.
Italy.
Since 2nd April 2024, President of the Social Democratic Party.
Sweden.
Since the 27th June of 2019.
Finland, stop the time. For those first ones, well, not the, but after the first one, there were a few difficult ones.
Yeah. We saw you cruising last week. So.
Yeah, let's do some counting again, I guess. The Netherlands, UK, Italy. Yeah, like 5, I'm 100% certain. But we need 7.
You need 7. Otherwise it's going to be a short story here.
Yeah. Let's just use 2 lifelines and be safe.
All right, 2 lifelines. And you say you should be safe then.
Yeah.
So we'll find out if that's actually true. First one, since last summer, previously Secretary General of the Ministry of Justice and Security, it's our own Dick Schoof from the Netherlands. And now for almost 2 years already, leader of the National Coalition Party, he is from Finland, so a different Scandinavian country, but you use one of your lifelines here. And from 18 October 2022, leader of the Moderate Party, this was Sweden.
Oh.
And the Secretary General of the Socialist Workers' Party from Spain.
Okay.
That one is correct. The New Flemish Alliance leader, which is of course in Belgium, very recent, only since this year. The leader of the Labour Party, that is United Kingdom, Keith Starmer. Leader of the Brothers of Italy party, that is Italy, of course, then. Then the president of the Social Democratic Party of Portugal. And lastly, the leader of the Social Democrats in Denmark. So very well use of your lifelines here.
Ooh.
So now you scrape by to the 6th round.
Nice.
Congrats. So
Close
after
call.
this round, if you have enough time and lifelines left, you can take the gamble to go all the way. But first, let's see how this one goes. On the 3rd of November 2024, the world lost legendary record producer and musician Quincy Jones, best known for producing 3 of the most successful albums of Michael Jackson. In a 2018 interview, when asked, "What's something you've worked on that should have been bigger?" he iconically answered, "What the fuck are you talking about? I've never had that problem. They were all big." With that spirit in mind, here are the 9 other notable deaths from the year 2024. You will see them on screen, and I will give a description, and you have to tell me who unfortunately passed away that year.
Ooh.
So, the options are Liam Payne, Jimmy Carter, Shannon Doherty, Ruth Westheimer, Alexei Navalny, Maggie Smith, James Earl Jones, Sergio Mendes, and O.J. Simpson. Familiar names?
Yeah, some of the kind of similar to last round, I think. Also like kind of like trying to get the picture of them in my head. I think it will be, at least up front, it feels similar to last round, so.
We'll see how this one goes then. All right, let's start. First one. British actress,
Maggie Smith,
39th president of the USA.
Jimmy Carter,
Russia's opposition leader.
Navalny,
American actor, most known as the voice of Darth Vader in Star Wars and Mufasa in The Lion King.
James Earl Jones,
He became a famous as member of boy band One Direction.
Liam Payne,
American TV personality, renowned sex therapist and talk show host. She later went on to write over 40 books.
Ruth Westheimer,
American actress known for roles in TV series Beverly Hills 90210 and Charmed.
Shannon Doherty,
American football player and actor. He later became known for being on trial for the murder of his ex-wife and her
O.J.
friend.
Simpson,
This Brazilian musician gained fame with super hit Mas Que Nada, and later also for his collaboration with the Black Eyed Peas.
Sergio Mendes, Stop the Time. Ooh. It's not an easy round, this.
Are there 7 correct?
Yeah. That one. Now once again 5.
Keeping up with the same strategy then.
Yeah, let's just use 2 again. Because,
Right,
yeah,
so another 2 lifelines.
it's just all 50-50, so it's like,
Playing it safe here.
yeah.
And then let's see how safe you were. First one, a British actress known for roles in Downton Abbey and Harry Potter. That's Maggie Smith. The 39th president of the USA. He also won the Nobel Prize of Peace in 2002. That's Jimmy Carter. And the Russia's opposition leader, after repeated poison attempts, he died in a prison. That's Alexei Navalny. The American actor most known as the voice of Darth Vader and Mufasa. That's James Earl Jones. Then the member of One Direction, and he also had some solo success later on. That's Liam Payne. American TV personality, renowned sex therapist and talk show host. She later went on to write over 40 books. That's Ruth Westheimer. The American actress known for roles in TV series Beverly Hills and Charmed. That's Shannon Doherty. So you're 7th already. Congrats. The American football player and actor, and he later was on trial for murder. That's O.J. Simpson. And lastly, the Brazilian musician gained fame with super hit Mas Que Nada, and also later for his collaboration with the Black Eyed Peas. That's Sergio Mendes. So actually it was a perfect round from you.
Yeah.
So that means you get 1 lifeline back.
The 50-50s turned out correct.
And I want to congratulate you by finishing this part of Smarter by the Second. But now you have a choice.
Yeah.
Because you also gathered a bit over 100 seconds from last episode. So those will be now added to your tally. And then you have 3 lifelines. And then the question is, do you dare to try on the round 7 and 8, where everything needs to be perfect,
Yeah.
to go from silver to gold? But risking silver, of course.
Of course, of course. 2:38, so assuming I use all 3 lifelines, that would leave me 190 seconds.
Of course, you only get to the 8th round by having a perfect 7th round. So then you have 4 lifelines in total.
So 4 lifelines, so 64 would leave 170 seconds. So that's like 85 seconds around, just over a minute.
I think the time is not going to be
I think that should be fine.
It's whether you dare to do it with the number of lifelines.
Yeah.
That's up to you. How risky do you want to be?
Let's just do it. We're here now anyway, right?
That's good to hear. That's the spirit that we like. All right. Then we'll see if you are going to triumph this.
Yes.
On to round number 7. The world record for most people in the car was 29. The car used in the record was not even an SUV or sedan. It was a Mini Cooper. You could say that this was at that moment in time the most densely populated place on Earth. Here are 9 densely populated cities. I will name the city and how densely they are populated, and you have to tell me in what country they are.
All right.
And the countries you can choose from are Nepal, Syria, Israel, Maldives, Pakistan, Haiti, India, the Philippines, and France.
Yeah, that's not easy.
This year we also do not have geography anymore. That was sacrificed for this.
Yeah.
So now these type of questions are also here. You feeling confident?
Not really.
Not really. Well, you do have your 3 lifelines.
Yeah, Nepal, Syria, Israel, Maldives.
All right.
And you tell me
I will tell you the city and then how many people live there per square kilometer. I don't know if that is going to help you. I think it's the name of the city that's going to do the heavy lifting.
I think so as well.
All right. Good luck.
Thanks.
First one. Manila, over 40,000 people.
Philippines.
Port-au-Prince.
Haiti.
Karachi, 25,000 people.
Pakistan.
Male, 23,000 people per square kilometer.
Maldives.
Bnei Brak, 30,000 people.
Sorry?
Bnei Brak.
Nepal.
Paris, 20,000.
France.
Damascus, 22.
Syria.
Kolkata, 24,000 people per square kilometer.
India.
Kathmandu, 29,000 people.
That is Nepal. And then just while I put it Nepal at Israel and stop the time.
So no room for error anymore.
No. Let's see. France was right, Philippines was right, India was right, Haiti was right, Pakistan was right. Syria and Nepal were also right. So that leaves Israel and Maldives, another 50-50.
Now use your 2 lifelines. That means you will have 2 as well for the last one.
Yeah. Yeah, let's just use 2. I'm not taking the risk. Well, I will take the risk by moving the risk to the next round.
Yeah, that's a risk either way.
Yeah.
Right, so 2 lifelines are used. We still have plenty of time. And then we go to checking. First one, Manila, that is in the Philippines, so that one's correct. Port-au-Prince, that is in Haiti. We have Karachi in Pakistan. And we have Male, that is in the Maldives, so that one correct as well. Bnei Brak, which is in Israel. Paris, of course, in France. Damascus in Syria. Kolkata in India. And lastly, Kathmandu in Nepal. So you have this one perfect by yourself.
Yeah.
So now you have your second lifeline. So now this only leaves you with 2 instead of 4 for the final round.
Yeah.
So it's going to be tight. But let's see. On to the grand finale of this of your story here.
Let's see.
On the 1st of April 1976, Steve Wozniak, Steve Jobs and Ronald Wayne founded the Apple Computer Company. But just 12 days later, Ronald Wayne sold his 10% stake for a mere $800. In hindsight, a pretty costly decision. Today, Apple is worth about $3 trillion, making it the most valuable company in the world. Here are 9 people who didn't cash out early and are a billionaire today. So I will tell you the company of their primary source of wealth.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to tell me who benefited from this company.
All right.
And the options are Jack Ma, Jolene de Carvalho, Warren Buffett, Larry Page, Bernard Arnault, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, and Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
So do you like your chances here?
I think I do.
All right.
But let's, yeah.
Should we find out?
Let's just find out. And
Everything on the line here.
Yeah.
All right. Best of luck. First one, Tesla,
Elon Musk,
Louis Vuitton,
Larry Page,
Meta,
Zuckerberg,
Heineken,
Jolene de Carvalho,
Alibaba,
Jack Ma,
Microsoft,
Bill Gates,
Berkshire Hathaway,
Warren Buffett.
Google,
Let's put that at Larry Page and then the other one at Bernard Arnault,
Amazon.
Jeff Bezos. Stop the time.
You have plenty of time to use your 2 lifelines.
Yeah, let's use them because I think I have 7 correct and then there's one 50-50 again. So with the lifelines,
Always
I think it should be fine.
Always the 50-50
Yeah.
with you.
So
All right.
let's use the final 2 lifelines and see.
Let's not let you wait any longer and go to checking. First one we have with Tesla. That's of course linked to Elon Musk. Of course, multiple companies tied to his name. Louis Vuitton, that's Bernard Arnault. So very well corrected there. Then we have Meta for Mark Zuckerberg. Heineken is Jolene de Carvalho. Alibaba, that's Jack Ma. Microsoft is tied to Bill Gates. And the Berkshire Hathaway, that's Warren Buffett. Then we have Google, that is indeed Larry Page. And it means that
Nice.
Amazon is
And
Jeff
it's also
Bezos.
correct.
So another perfect round, no
Wow.
lifelines needed even during these 2 final rounds. So congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
How does it feel to win this entire thing?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's very happy.
Now you put the bar really high for everyone who wants to try to walk in your footsteps here in recent
Yeah.
history.
Yeah. That's yeah.
Sucks to be them.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, that means you will receive the gold prize,
Thank
which
you.
will go to you later. But at this current moment, I can also give you the participation award, the clock.
Thank you. I think I can make some people happy with that.
I think you have enough board members
Yes.
that are not shy of these.
Yes.
So thank you for participating. Very well done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And then we will be back with our next contestant. And now I am back with our next contestant, who is Hil Meijer. Welcome, Hil.
Yeah, happy to be here.
How are you doing?
Just had a nice tutorial on differential equations. That makes me happy. Yeah.
Some good vibes. So
Yeah.
that's a good warm-up for your category, because you are now in science, which is also math-related. So why did you pick science?
Probably because I know many random facts, but I think I ticked a few boxes, and this is the one that you then picked. We'll try. We'll try. I'm not going to make any guarantees that I'm doing well on this category.
You have any specialties in this field?
No, probably too few.
Too few. We'll see. Hopefully they stay away from these rounds for today.
Yeah.
Then,
We'll see.
Let's see what happens in round 1.
Good.
Marie Curie, pioneer of radioactivity, alongside her husband, she made many groundbreaking discoveries surrounding radioactivity. But her work also came at a cost. After years of heavy exposure to radioactive materials, she died of radiation-induced aplastic anemia. But we know now that radioactivity can also save lives, as it plays a crucial role in various medical imaging techniques that help detect and diagnose disease. Here are 9 medical imaging techniques. I will describe them, and you have to tell me which technique I am describing. So the options you can choose from are PET scan, ultrasound, X-ray, CT scan, thermography, MRI, OCT, SPECT, and scintigraphy. So
Okay.
familiar names?
Some.
Well, only 5 of them need to be correct.
We'll see.
So best of luck. First one, uses powerful magnets to detect water molecules in human tissue.
That should be MRI.
Using radioactive substances, this technique measures changes in metabolic processes and blood flow.
Oh, wait a sec. I want now to say PET, and that I want to say MRI now, and that should have been PET before.
Using high-energy gamma radiation, this technique is commonly used to determine the type and extent of a fracture.
X-ray.
This technique, commonly associated with imaging a fetus, uses high-frequency tones to create an image.
Ultrasound.
This technique uses a rotating tube of Röntgen radiation to get 3D images of the body's interior.
CT.
Radioisotopes are taken internally. Then gamma cameras capture the emitted radiation and graph the origin in a 2D image.
SPECT.
After injecting a radioisotope into the bloodstream, with this technique a 3D image can be made of the concentration of the radioisotope.
OCT.
Uses infrared images of the human skin to detect heat patterns in the body, often used in breast cancer screening.
Thermography.
Uses visible light to obtain micrometer level depth images of biological tissue.
Scintigraphy.
That was the last one.
Stop.
All right.
And if we still have to do 3 more rounds, that's going to be tough. Then I have to speed up.
Yes.
I think
But to get there, we need to have 5 correct answers here.
Yeah, I'm going to put in 1 lifeline.
1 lifeline, so that means 16 seconds are also lost. And you can go to checking. First one, this technique uses a powerful magnets to detect water molecules in human tissue. Here first at MRI and then you changed it to PET, but it was in fact MRI. So then we use your lifeline.
Yeah.
Using radioactive substances, this technique measures changes in metabolic processes and blood flow. Then this is PET, so you switch those two around. Fortunately that you first had them in the right way. Then uses high energy gamma radiation and is used to determine the type and extent of a fracture, that is indeed X-ray. And then technique commonly associated with imaging a fetus, that is ultrasound. And the technique uses a rotating tube of Röntgen radiation to get 3D images of the body's interior, that is also CT. And the radioisotopes are taken internally to create a 2D image, that is scintigraphy. And then the radioisotope into the bloodstream to get a 3D image, that is SPECT. And to use infrared images of the human skin to detect the heat patterns in the body, that is thermography. So that's your 5th correct answer, congrats. And lastly, it uses visible light to obtain micrometer level depth images of biological tissue. That is OCT. So very well use of your lifeline here. I think this was a pretty difficult round. Very similar techniques. And let's see how you'll do in the second round.
I know some of these techniques, but if I had seen a figure, it would have been easier, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're not here to make your life easy per se.
No.
On to the second round. Starlight is a song by English rock band Muse, featured on their 2006 album Black Holes and Revelations. It is a song which has very little to do with science, but is closely related to this round, as we will be talking about starlight among black holes, 9 stars and constellations.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this is also science.
Yeah. Very good.
I will give a description again, and to tell me what term I am describing. And the options are Orion, Cassiopeia, Alpha Centauri, Pleiades, Polaris, Betelgeuse, Sirius, Big Dipper, and the Southern Cross.
Oh gosh, I think I know 3 or 4 of them.
3, 4, then you need to guess 1 or 2 of them as well.
Yeah.
All right, best of luck. First one, also known as the North Star. This moderately bright star,
Polaris.
the brightest star in the night sky, often called the Dog Star. It's found in the constellation Canis Major and is prominent on winter evenings in the northern hemisphere.
Orion.
A red supergiant star marking the shoulder of the Orion constellation, famously large and distinctly reddish. It's expected to go supernova in the astronomically near future.
Betelgeuse.
The nearest star system to our solar system, consisting of 3 stars.
Alpha Centauri.
A prominent constellation named after a hunter in Greek mythology, notable for its belt of 3 stars in a row and containing the bright star Betelgeuse and Rigel.
So this should be Orion, and where I said Orion, I put in Sirius.
Not an official constellation, but a well-known asterism of 7 stars forming a ladle shape, part of Ursa Major. It's often used to find the North Star by following the line of its pointer stars.
Pleiades.
A small but distinctive constellation visible in the southern hemisphere, with 4 bright stars forming a cross shape. It's featured
Southern Cross.
a constellation in the northern sky shaped roughly like a W or M, named after a mythical queen.
Cassiopeia.
Also known as Seven Sisters, it is an asterism of an open star cluster containing young B-type stars in the northwest of the constellation.
Big Dipper. Stop. I'll leave it to this. We'll see.
Right, no lifelines. With the seconds, you have 120 seconds. So if you know lifelines, that's also a smart choice there.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But we'll just have to see how we're doing.
All right, then we go to the first one to check. It's also known as the North Star, and then you already cut me off. You said Polaris, which is correct, but I'll finish now. It's moderately bright star lies near directly above Earth's North Pole, making it a reliable indicator of the true north. Then next up, the brightest star in the night sky, often called the dog star. This is Sirius, so very well done there. The red supergiant star marking the shoulder of the Orion constellation, that is indeed Betelgeuse. The nearest star system to our solar system, consisting of 3 stars, the brightest which can be seen from the southern hemisphere, that's Alpha Centauri. A prominent constellation named after a hunter in Greek mythology and its belt, that's Orion, so congrats, that's your 5th correct answer.
Orion is my favorite constellation.
Look, that helps. And this is not an official constellation, but a well-known asterism of 7 stars forming a ladle shape, and it's part of Ursa Major, that is the Big Dipper.
Okay.
And then a small but distinctly constellation visible in the southern hemisphere, and it's also featured on flags like Australia's and is used for navigation in the south, that is the Southern Cross. And the constellation in the northern sky is roughly shaped like a W or M, that's Cassiopeia. And lastly, also known as the Seven Sisters, that is Pleiades. So you only switched 2 of them, so very well done. And it means we can go on to round number 3.
Yeah, it's not easy.
No one said it would be.
Yep.
The chi is a traditional Chinese unit of length, around 1/3 of a meter, but its exact size, that depends on where you are. In different jurisdictions, it has been defined differently. For example, in Hong Kong, a chi is about 4 centimeters longer than in Beijing. Conclusion, measuring isn't always exact science. Here are 9 measuring devices. So, once more, I will give a description. You should tell me what these things, I will give you what they measure, and you have to tell me what I am looking for. So, your options are the Geiger counter, the protractor, atomic clock, seismograph, the barometer, the pedometer, the caliper, a GPS device, and the multimeter.
Okay.
So now we are also looking for 6 correct answers instead of 5. We're upping the difficulty here.
Yeah.
Best of luck. First one, measures air pressure.
Barometer.
Measures length, width, thickness, diameter of depth of an object or hole.
This would be the protractor.
Counts steps of a person.
Pedometer.
Measures radiation.
The Geiger counter.
Measures voltage, resistance and current.
Multimeter.
Measures angles.
I would take the protractor.
Determines geographic location.
GPS device.
Measures time very precise.
Atomic clock.
Measures ground displacement and shaking.
Seismograph. Stop. This is fine.
You also did it very quickly, so that's good job there.
Well, we'll see.
Let's see, now you at least have some seconds to play for the 4th round. Let's see if you make it there in the first place. So no lifelines, I understand correctly, or do you want to use one?
No, I think we should try this.
All right, then we're just trying this. The first one that measures air pressure, that's the barometer. Then it measures length, width, thickness, diameter or depth of an object or hole, that's a caliper. Then it counts the steps of a person, that's a pedometer. It measures radiation, that's a Geiger counter. Voltage, resistance and current, you measure that with a multimeter. For angles, we have a protractor. So there's your 6th one. Congratulations. For geographic location, you determine this using a GPS device. For time, to be very precise with it, you have an atomic clock. And lastly, for ground displacement and shaking, there's a seismograph. So it's a perfect round, which also means you get another lifeline. And now we have 86 seconds and 5 lifelines to go to the final round of today.
Good.
Take a good breath. All right. Space psychologist might sound like something out of Star Trek, but it is a very real profession. These specialists help astronauts cope with the isolation, stress, and psychological challenges of space. For this round, we will stick to medicine on Earth. Here are 9 medical specialists. I will give a description, and you have to tell me which specialist I am describing. Your options are a hematologist, an anesthesiologist, a radiologist, an oncologist, cardiologist, pediatrician, gynecologist, neurologist, and a psychiatrist.
Okay.
Well-known terms.
Some, as I do some health-related research. But
That
it was,
All right. Good luck. First
you.
one. Focuses on the brain, spine, and nerves.
neurologist,
Expert on the heart and blood vessels.
cardiologist,
Gives you drugs to numb your pain or to put you under during surgery.
hematologist,
Specializes in children's health.
pediatrician,
Specialist in blood, spleen, and lymph disorders.
this should be a hematologist,
Expert on mental disorders.
psychiatrist,
Focuses on the female reproductive system.
gynecologist,
Specialist on cancer.
oncologist,
Uses x-rays and other imaging tests to diagnose.
radiologist. Stop. It should be fine.
Should be fine, so no lifelines again.
No lifelines.
Because you do have enough time for it.
Yeah, but
You really sped up in the second half here.
yeah, some I know.
All right, then we just go to checking.
Yep.
First one, it focuses on the brain, spine, and nerves. This is a neurologist. The expert on the heart and blood vessels, that's a cardiologist. It gives you drugs to numb your pain or to put you under for surgery. That's an anesthesiologist. It specializes in children's health. That's a pediatrician. Specializes in blood, spleen, and lymph disorders. A hematologist. An expert on mental disorders. A psychiatrist. So indeed you were correct. No lifelines needed. 6 correct one. Which means we'll see you next week. To finish off the round. Focuses on the female reproductive system. A gynecologist. Specialist on cancer. An oncologist. And lastly, uses x-rays and other imaging tests to diagnose disease, a radiologist. So another perfect round, which means you will enter next week with 6 lifelines.
Okay.
And you also gathered 50 seconds if you do decide to go for the grand prize. So very well done.
Yeah.
That will mean that we will see you again next week.
Yeah. The one that I'm most proud of was the protractor, because I used that 2 years ago in the Applied Maths Teacher Award.
Ah, nice.
It's sometimes you
Good
need
memories.
sometimes you need to know a term, right? Otherwise you're lost.
Like this is your Slumdog Millionaire moment. You have such a memory.
Well, that's a pretty random fact. Yeah.
All right, and this brings us to the end of today's episode. But first, the answer to today's viewer question. The answer is Catherine of Aragon. Congratulations to the winner, and thank you all for watching, and we hope you tune in next week to a new episode of Smarter by the Second.